Hi, this is Ben Glassman, and this is a video explaining how to submit a pull request on GitHub. So we'll be making a basic edit to an existing repository. In this case, it's the website for the Vermont Works for Women Step Up to IT program. We'll be adding a resource to the resources page, and then we'll be submitting that as a request, a pull request, in order to get that included into the website. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to register a GitHub account. I'd like to just explain briefly what Git and GitHub are and what the difference is between them. Git is a version control system, or VCS. It's basically a way to store your code or text so that you can track the changes that are happening to it over time. There's other version control systems than Git, but Git is a very popular one. And there are a lot of benefits to using a version control system, which you can look up online, but some of them are if you're collaborating with multiple people on a project, then you don't really want to be in a situation where you have to tell the other person, hey, don't edit this HTML file because I'm editing it. When I'm done, I'll let you know. You don't want to have to coordinate that manually. So by using a version control system, it sort of handles some of that for you in terms of making sure you're not overwriting each other's changes without knowing it. Another really good reason to use a version control system is it provides backup for you. You can restore to previous versions. If you introduced a bug in your code, you can go back to a previous version and hopefully more easily find out why the code broke. So those are some of the benefits. So that's Git. GitHub is a website that just provides hosting for Git repositories. A repository is just a Git's term for a bunch of code, a bunch of files. It is called a repository. You basically give it a name, and Git can host that for you. It's also used as a collaboration platform, and we'll be looking at pull requests today that sort of illustrate one of the ways that that happens. So, like I said, first you're going to want to register a GitHub account. I'm already logged in, so I'm going to assume that you're logged in before you proceed. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the repository that you want to edit. So in this case, you may know the URL, but in this case, I'm just going to search for Vermont Works for Women because that's the organization name. GitHub will give me some results here. I can see under users, if I click that, that there is a Vermont Works for Women user. If I click on that, it will show me their page, description, and any of their code repositories. So Step Up to IT is the website repository. So you're going to want to click on that. You can, of course, also bookmark and go directly to this URL of github.com/vtworksforwomen/step-up-it. So from this view, you're looking at all of the files that are part of the repository. You can browse into folders, like by clicking on CSS, I can see what files are in there, and I can click on this link here to return to the home page of the repository. And in this case, what we want to do is we want to add a resource, and that is in the file resource.html. So if I click on resource.html, what I can see is that we have a fairly basic HTML page. And if we actually go to the vtworksforwomen.github.io/stepupit URL, this is the website that we're going to be editing. We're going to be editing the resource pages. So you can see there's a headline Step Up to IT with the mailing list. There's a headline software with brackets and FileZilla. And if we switch back to the actual code, you can see, oh, there's our heading. Step Up to IT, there's our software heading, here's the brackets and FileZilla links. So this is an HTML file that's used on the website. If you want to edit the file, you can do that directly through GitHub's interface by clicking this edit pencil icon, which is a pretty common icon for edit in software. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and that's going to give me a code editor where I can actually make my changes. Now, in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to remove the FileZilla link because the FileZilla installer, we found out, has a lot of unwanted bloatware that was giving people's computers some trouble. So I'm going to just go ahead and highlight this line, the whole list item and link, and I'm going to delete it. Now, you are ultimately going to be adding a link to this page, so you're going to want to find the right section, whether it's documentation or software, and you're going to add a list item and an anchor and some text. But we're just going to remove that as a demonstration. And now I can scroll down to the bottom of the page and I can submit my change. This is a request for this change to happen. I don't have the right to actually edit this directly in this login that I have here, and you won't either, so you'll see the same thing. I'm just going to say removed FileZilla. That's the summary of the change that I made. That's another nice thing about version control systems is when you make changes, you can describe them so that you can actually see a list of all of the things that have changed over time, and you can hopefully identify problematic changes that were made if you need to. And I'm not going to add an extended description. So now I'm going to click Propose File Change, and this is going to take me to a page that is going to let me create a pull request. So what a pull request is it is a request that goes to the owners of the code repository. So for example, Jenny and Ben in this case, and some of the instructors, they'll get a notification that somebody wants to remove FileZilla, and they'll be able to go and see the changes that were made, and it actually can serve as a discussion area where we can say, well, we're not sure that we should do that, or can you also remove this while you're in there? This is a very common platform that's used to collaborate for folks who are in different locations or the same location, because it allows people to have a lot of transparency into what changes other people are requesting be made. So I'm gonna just say I removed FileZilla. I'll add an explanation that we found the FileZilla installer had a lot of extra malware, so we are removing it. We will add another FTP client later. And now, if I scroll down a little bit, I can actually see this is what the person will see when you submit this request, the owner. They can see, oh, there was one file that was changed, and there was one deletion. This line's highlighted in red. It's indicating FileZilla FTP client line was removed. I'm going to go ahead and click Create Pull Request. And that has created a request, which all of the owners of the repository will see, to make this change to the code. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over just so you can see to the view where I'm logged in as my administrator login, and I'm looking at the Step Up IT repository. And now if I click Pull Requests, what I can see here now is that there is a list of ones that are opened. These are code change requests different people have submitted. I click on Removed FileZilla, and I can see, oh, let's see, this gentleman here wants to remove, let's see, what did he do? Let me click Files Changed, and I can see, oh, he wants to remove FileZilla. I can see the good explanation that it has a lot of extra malware, so we're removing it. And right from here, I can click Merge Pull Request and confirm merge. Now, in the case of the Vermont Works for Women website, the website's actually generated automatically based on the GitHub repository that we're looking at. It's a feature called GitHub Pages. It's really nice. It makes it easy to edit pages no matter where you are. So if I go back to the resources page now and I refresh it, you can actually see now brackets and then Chrome. FileZilla's gone. So GitHub basically looks at this code repository for changes, and when changes happen, it automatically rebuilds the website and publishes it for me. It kind of simplifies things. There's a lot of limitations there, but it's really great if it does fit with your needs, like a simple HTML static website, and you don't need your clients to be able to edit it in a really user-friendly way. So What we're asking you guys to do is to find a resource that you think that the rest of the class would benefit from and use this video as instructions to submit that change to the Vermont Works for Women Step Up IT repository, creating a pull request just like this. And then Jenny or myself or Emily Spence Place will be able to approve that and get that on the website. And that's something that we'd like folks to do going forward as well. And when you come up with resources and you want to share them, go ahead and update the website just like that. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, of course, you can ask on the mailing list.